Welcome back. Let's looking at the postponement of the trial of the Al Jazeera journalists Mohammed Fahmy and Baher Mohammed. It was scheduled for today, but it has been rescheduled for April the 28th. And joining us now via telephone is Mr. Edmond Adeboruwa, who is a lawyer. Mr. Adeboruwa, thank you very much for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you.
Could you give us the options which these journalists have with these postponements of their trial, 5 times now to be exact?
Well, it will be clear from the proceedings of the trial of the journalists of Al Jazeera in Egypt that the state and the prosecution have no real case against these journalists other than to frustrate them, to witch hunt them, and to persecute them. That is contrary to the United Nations Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. It's contrary to the African Charter on Human Rights. Every criminal trial must have a definite period. An accused person is entitled to know the process of trial for a definite period. And in this particular case, they have gone through a lot of frustration. One of them has given up his Egyptian citizenship. And for many months now, they are unable to secure any alternative job. I think the option open to a suspect or an accused person who is facing a criminal charge that has no basis is to move the court to dismiss it. Because if they strike it out now, they can always file it again. So it's for them to move the court to dismiss the charges. This was a charge that is based on spurious video evidence. All the witnesses of the prosecution have since denied that they were ever the ones that informed the police that these people were recording videos against the security of Egypt. So as it is, the committee that was supposed to serve as prosecution witnesses have since disowned the prosecution and they set up another committee. And there's no evidence. In law, you cannot be fishing for criminal evidence to convict people. We must have a definite period when the trial will come to an end, particularly when you know that these are journalists who should be free and have free access to information to report and hold government accountable to the people. I think it's quite condemnable to continue to postpone the trial. The judge seems to be indulging the prosecution at the expense of the accused persons whose head these charges have been dangling without any substantive trial.
Now, Mr. Adeboruwa, do you think that Mohammed Fahmy has more options than Baher Mohammed, seeing that he's renounced his Egyptian citizenship, but Baher Mohammed is a full Egyptian? He has full Egyptian citizenship. Do you think he has more options than his colleague?
Well, for me, really, both of them are in the same boat. As a matter of fact, the option for Mohammed seems to be more difficult in the sense that, there is no opportunity for him now to even exercise his Canadian citizenship. It was only today that I was able to secure his Canadian passport. For the past 3 months when he has been applying, he has been denied constantly because of the harsh conditions of bail that he has been given. So I don't think both of them have very good options, except for them to insist that the court must put an end to the trial on the 28th if the prosecution cannot open its case or call its witnesses. A criminal trial should not be hanging indefinitely or be made to look like the prosecution is fishing for evidence. It is discouraging. It is against all international covenants on human rights for journalists who are just exercising their profession to be subjected to this kind of rigor of criminal prosecution. It is totally condemnable.
Mr. Adeboruwa, thank you so much for joining us on the program. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, just to recap on what Mr. Adeboruwa was telling us, he was giving us the options, legal options available to Mohammed Fahmy and Baher Mohammed, who have had their trial postponed for the 5th time again today, from April the 22nd to April the 28th. I believe we've been able to connect with Peter Nkanga, and well, my director tells me that we have to call it a day. We do apologize. We're hoping to speak to Peter Nkanga, who is the West Africa representative for the Committee for Protecting Journalists, but we'll reach out to him tomorrow since we've run out of time. But of course, we'd like to hear from you here on Network Africa. Feel free to reach out to us either via email or Twitter. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. It's been a pleasure as always. I'm Cynthia.